Diane Gibbs with Design Recharge, and today I have Rachel Nichols on, and we're going to do a mentor to mentor. We're doing something different. We're going to start doing more of these, but Rachel is amazing at a ton of things that I am not amazing at. And today, this is one of the things that we're going to work on. I'm going to help her go through, and I'm going to be creating some channel artwork for her YouTube channel. And we're going to go through the questions that I normally ask. And there will be a PDF if you're watching this on YouTube. There will be a link to the page on rechargingyou.com, and just click on that and you can download the same PDF if you like the questions that I've asked. There's probably more questions on the sheet of paper, but sometimes I don't need to ask all the questions on the sheet of paper. You have to read people's faces and things like that to see if we can move forward, or if they're not interested, or this is too many questions for one interview kind of thing. So we're going to get started with that. Why is it now an important time that you're starting this channel, and what is this channel significant to your company?
For me, it's an extension of starting my business. So for the first quarter of this year, I was really focused on connecting with a lot of people locally and building up a lot of those relationships and referrals and that kind of local network. But now that we're into second quarter, I'm moving to building up my online presence. And there's a lot of reasons to be doing a YouTube channel. There's the fact that you're in Google's ecosystem, so it's helpful with SEO. It takes a long time to build up, so it's worth investing in early, no matter, even if it's a low investment. Being aware of that, I was like, okay, I need to tackle that at some point, and second quarter is when I decided I would start. And then the way that's helping with my online networking is just simply the fact that video is the most personable you can be in a digital ecosystem.
So why is being personable really important to your clients?
Because they want to work with somebody that they know and they trust, and they feel like they can really let in and partner with their business. So there's a certain amount of relationship equity that needs to be built up. And video is a proven and fantastic way to do that. It's also a way to build up authority on your subject and expertise and all of that. So again, it's kind of multi-layered that way.
What do you think are some of the core values that you have in your in-person business that you also want to explore in your online business? So what's something that you wouldn't give up? Sometimes when I've asked people this, they're like, core value, very big. But think about, like, if I said, oh, okay, Rachel, we're going to get, I have somebody who can work for you to do some of the tasks that you hate doing. And I say, oh, well, would you want them to take over your email? And this one friend of mine was like, no, communication is so important that I have the communication. So that's something that he would never give up because it's so important. But then updating his website, totally something he would give up. Like, he totally doesn't want to do his portfolio pieces or things like that. That to him wasn't a deal breaker. So what is a value that I think probably is going to be just in your business, not necessarily just in your YouTube channel, but what is a core value so I understand it a little bit more?
There's definitely the relational aspect. So I can relate to some of what he had to say about the communication. Not that I would never trust someone else to do things like email or even run the strategy sessions, but it would take someone really special.
Okay.
So there's, and probably as I'm sorting through that in the strategy sessions themselves, when I'm working with the client and we're through the icebreakers and we're in the middle of everything, when I'm like, I sense this moment when I'm like, okay, I'm in the trenches with you. I'm able to ask questions that they would probably be like, I just met you, why are you asking me this? But they totally accept it, and they're like, oh man, I guess I've never really thought about it that way. And I kind of deal with this on a personal level, and all this kind of stuff comes out, and they feel safe talking about that kind of stuff with me. And I'm able to take that information and really translate it into a plan that's going to be helpful for their business, because it's taking into account some of those things that they revealed. And so there's something there that happens that it would really take someone special to do that instead of me in my business.
Okay.
So out of everything, that's the thing that stands out the most.
Do you think that's also something that is a differentiator between you and your business for somebody else? So two people that do strategy for people, this is a differentiator for Lucere and me, right? As a company.
Yeah, for Lucere Design, maybe we could call it unorthodox way of digging into what really matters to that person in that business, I would say differentiates me.
Why unorthodox?
Probably because I've gotten a lot of comments of like, is it normal to get this deep in branding? Is it, you know, oh, I just send my clients a questionnaire, or, oh, I just do this. Don't you want to be more efficient that way? Those kinds of things. And I'm like, no, I can't give this process up because it helps me do a really good job. My clients so far have been nothing but pleased.
So it is about longer term solutions instead of maybe quick fixes. And maybe that's what other people are able to do.
Yeah. And people who need them, they do a great job for.
This is not focused on quick fixes.
Yeah, because I even communicate up front, like I'm into a long-term investment for your business. And if that's what you're ready to do, then I'm the right fit for you. If that's not what you're looking for, and that's not what's going to serve you best right now, then I'm not the right fit for you. And I'm happy to help you find someone else if you'd like.
That's great. Who is the ideal person who's going to be watching? Why do they come to you? And can you describe that person? Are these good questions?
They're very good questions, Diane.
I have 3 pins here. I'm ready to go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You are more than equipped. There's always going to be some kind of evolution in this, but right now what I'm picturing is probably female entrepreneur, business owner looking to, well, they're usually on YouTube to learn. So if they're finding new content, they're learning about whether it's how to market their business more effectively, how to, brand consistency, all these kinds of things that we as business owners, we know we need to care about that, but what does that mean? So they're looking to understand some of these things a little bit more. I'm still sorting out exactly what content I'm going to make. So some of this is going to be a lot of trial and error through the first few videos to really see even what I'm get excited about sharing. I'm trying to pay attention to everything from my side to the audience side, and over time that develops. Female entrepreneur, business owner, eager to learn.
Think about your clients that you help, right? Where are they?
So far, experienced but new endeavor. So they're being more intentional about this, taking what they've learned and going, okay, new thing, and we want to do it more intentionally this time.
And it can be hard because it's for them, and the other times it's been for someone else sometimes, right?
Right. And then another person I'm working with is pretty new in business, and so I'm doing a lot more guiding and kind of coaching along the way. I tend to be very adaptable. So I sense out kind of what are you needing from me? And based on the questions that they ask and where they hesitate or struggle, I just kind of flow into those places and go, why the hesitation? And then that leads into what kind of relationship develops. But
maybe that's 2 playlists then for the more advanced entrepreneur. Right. And then you have one for the getting started. Maybe you have 2 types of content, because those are things that you already do because you are adaptable. But I think that, you might overwhelm the newbie, right. Could be 2 playlists, it's the same channel.
Yeah. And I think that's a very smart way to think about it. I've often felt overlooked. And so because
you're a girl?
In some regard, in some ways, not maybe always, maybe that wasn't always the case, but I was also not aggressive or inserting myself all the time. And I still am not really. I've become more assertive, but not loud and aggressive, and always calling attention to myself. So when I see other women that are really smart, they have great ideas, and they're working hard to balance all of the things and have a business, I'm like, yeah, I see you. I want other people to see you too. So there's something in that for me that I'm like not willing to work with men at all. And men still want to work with me, but there's that aspect there that when I can help a woman-led business just kind of overcome some of the odds, that's a really good feeling.
You have felt overlooked, so now you want to help some other people so that they don't feel the way you felt.
Yeah.
So how old are these women that are watching these?
They tend to be somewhere between their late 20s to, maybe safe to say like 45, maybe late 50s.
Okay. I think
Or not late 50s, late 40s, on average. There's always going to be outliers, but.
So I think some entrepreneurs, so I'll be 46 this week. So I hope I'm just kicking it real hard, even in my 60s, to be honest.
That's true. Me too.
So I think a lot of women start businesses later.
You know, actually, now that you mention it, I'm thinking of someone that I met not too long ago, and she's awesome. I want to be her when I grow up. So let's expand that a little bit now that.
Okay. I'm like, you're cutting me out in 3 years, buddy. You know, or 4. I'm really terrible at math. Okay, so to 50s to late 50s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be irrelevant for someone not of that age bracket, but I'm trying to be like, that middle, the peak in the data.
But I also think a lot of women, they'll have kids and then they'll start something, or they'll have their kids get to a place that they're at school and they have after school care, and then they can start something. So this would be perfect for your audience who are starting something new or had worked and now they're transitioning into doing their own thing, right?
Right. Yeah. I wish I'd been patient enough to wait for school, but I didn't. I wasn't.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Oh, you mean because your kids aren't in school yet?
Right.
But that's okay. That's again, that's part of your superpower, is that you're able, with your family and your husband and your kids, you're able to make it work and juggle. And I think that that's really impressive. But it's also a drive. It's that something that. It's just like loving your kids. You can't not love them, but you also have this other part of you that really is, it's calling to you, and you have to do this, and you have to help these other women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait. You can just do it. Some women are amazing at that, and then maybe this will be helpful for them to see somebody else going before them and doing it successfully. And if you share your struggles and what they are, then that also is really encouraging for them as well.
That's true.
What do you want these women, can you just tell me a name of somebody? It could be a made up name. I usually use Jody. Can you tell me a name of somebody so that we can kind of put a face to this ideal client or customer watching?
Let's go with Annette.
Okay. All right. Annette. What's her first, when she pops in, she sees the content, what do you want? She doesn't know anything about you. What do you want her to think from the get-go?
I want them to feel a sense of like an empathetic atmosphere. So like, this person might get me. Fun, but not goofy.
So that was something, you want them to feel safe, but usually people feel safe with some sort of strength or you talked about being the expert. Can you talk about that a little bit, or that maybe helps us get into the think a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good bridge. So there's a certain amount of authority. So, for example, to me, what often translates that very simple design, like a command of the space with very little. Like, there's something about that that's like communicates authority and confidence friendly expertise. So that's why they feel safe. They don't feel talked down to, but they feel like they're learning something, or that translates that they're learning something.
I would also say professional. You always dress super professional. I always think, man, she is put together. And you are like, look, I'm in a t-shirt and jeans and I always wear these fleece things. Like I'm keeping Lands in business. There is something about just the way you carry yourself, and it's very professional, but fun. Like you got red lipstick on, and I love that. So that to me I do think you're professional. So I trust you in that way, but the friendliness is definitely there. I'm just thinking of like sans serif, to be honest. That's
Right.
what I'm thinking, as not something scripty, right?
No.
Although
No.
that might reach more women, but I just think I'm thinking in typefaces. Like you are a put together professional. So one of the things that I'm probably gonna do is try to find some typefaces that are perfect circles, or have big X heights, at least for the brand, or for the main little. And that's the other thing. I don't know if there's already a logo for Lucier Designs that I need to be incorporating. Or
I can show it to you, and you are free to stretch the interpretation.
okay.
And maybe a good thing for you to know too is that the way I see the YouTube channel is almost like this bridge between my business and my personal brand, which I'm also developing, and I'm going to be cultivating more over on Instagram. So the YouTube channel becomes like this bridge between the two, and the website's going to be the business, Instagram's personal brand, YouTube kind of covers both.
Okay.
So I like the idea of them feeling akin to one another, but design can really stretch what feels related, and it doesn't have to be, matchy.
So you probably know these. Your kids are not old enough to maybe write yet, I don't think.
They're working on it.
Okay. Next week, Diane, they'll get it. But did you ever have a chart like this when you were a kid?
Yes.
Okay. So, but nobody told us what they were. I'm sure my teacher didn't know what they were. But this line here is the X height. Now that changes with every typeface. Every typeface has different X heights. But higher X heights can be more friendly. A lot of politicians use high X heights. It can be very open and warm and friendly, and rounder is friendlier. So you have the cap height is that top line. The bottom line is called the baseline.
Okay.
You have things like a letter Y or a letter B, or that sometimes you'll see, and they'll go above. It's only one specific. Anyway, that's really too much typography. But this would be the descender line. This is a descender. This thing here is called an ascender. And again, you have your cap. But where these in this midline, we call that the mean line, because it's really angry. No, I'm just kidding. It's just mean like middle. But I think it's funny to be mean. The mean line is the middle, but the space between the baseline and the mean line is called the X height. And a small X height, so if you were thinking about, that's why all typefaces, you can't say, oh, we'll just put it in 8-point type and it'll be fine, because every typeface has a different X height. So sometimes people's or typefaces X heights, if you can see this, you'll see kind of what I'm saying. Here's a Y and a B, and this has a very different feel. This is not very open and warm and friendly. And this one is. This is more open and warm and friendly. It's approachable. But there are times when you're trying to be more formal. And so typefaces started out more with small, not this is extreme, but they started out more like this. But that's probably where I'm thinking of this friendly. I'm thinking of a sans serif. Are you okay with a sans serif? Because you do know about design. I'm trying to also.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't care if you cover stuff I already know, because I'm always looking for things that like somebody will say that connects a dot for me. So I picked up a lot of different things, but sometimes somebody will be saying, I didn't know that, and you wouldn't have said that if I didn't let you just talk about stuff I already knew.
Serif has it's easier to read and print for sure. It's can be very traditional feeling, and I just from what you're talking about, fun, authority, entrepreneurial women. I'm just leaning more in the sans serif range, just because these kind of are people who are breaking the mold.
Yeah, I think that is the correct way to go. I love a good serif typeface.
Oh, I do too.
They're really beautiful, but for the purpose and the feel and the audience, I agree with you.
Okay. What do you want Annette to take away from watching her first video?
Something actionable. I want her to feel equipped.
That's a good word. You
Thank
should
you.
have that in your website or your description. You will feel, you will feel equipped to blank. I love that.
That's very nice.
You said it. Feel equipped.
This is why we need another person with these kinds of questions. It's all in there, but there's an excavation that has to happen.
It is. So you're also talking a lot about turning over these soil and excavating. So there could be some visuals that come in. I'm just talking about your brain. You could have a whole series of, you did a campaign or Instagram where you're kind of talking about this and how it connects. You could make some great analogies with some of these things that you're already talking about.
This is a good point, and I'm really thankful that you're helping me make these connections, because there's so many bits and pieces, and it's like they need to connect to one another, because then it becomes obvious. So,
but it's hard to do yourself.
It's true. It's hard. There's so much not just in business, but in life. Every single person that we talk to is an individual with a life. So like, there's just so much going on all the time.
She feels equipped. Is she excited as she leaves?
I was actually thinking about, as I go to make my videos, like the send off, like what kind of send off do I want to have on the end of my videos? Do I want to push that feeling of excitement and feeling equipped and feeling like, oh, that's a piece of something that I needed, and it's like, if they need more pieces, then maybe watch more of the playlist. But if they feel ready, like, do I want to have a regular send off that's more like, yeah, no, go do the thing?
But maybe that's another graphic we can create.
Oh,
for at the end. Bam, you pop that up there. It's a flash, 3 seconds or something, or
I'm just like, more eloquently put, but go do the thing. Whatever you came here for, hopefully you feel like you've got it. Now go.